So we are back at Baz's Mitsubishi compound. Let's take a look at what he's been up to recently in all these project cars. So in typical Melbourne weather, every time I seem to come to your place or you come to my place, it's freezing. Today is 9 degrees.
That's the Lemon engine. That's a factory 4G63. That is actually for the Cordia sitting outside. So 3000 GT was what they were called in Australia, GTO in Japan.
Now I've heard rumours that this does not have a V6 in it.
So these Lancers actually were sold in Australia as GSRs, as NA 1.6 front wheel drives. But this has been converted to a 2-litre VR4 and it's got all the fancy fabrication.
So Baz, what have you done to the Cordia since we've been here last time? I know the engine's in, that was in the garage over there last time.
Yeah. So I've actually put the engine in, transmissions in, some front mount intercooler stuff, but you know, real basic. Spent about maybe a good week on it. Last time you guys were here, the engine was in the container. 4G63 from a Galant VR4, wiring loom from an RVR. I've stripped that and I've just buzzed out all the pins, just to confirm that all the wiring is up to scratch. So far so good, so I've just got to route it and then trim it, re-terminate the plug. But apart from that, you know, intercooler piping, as you can see here. This is a cool part, right? That's Galant VR4 throttle body elbow, factory Galant VR4 intercooler rubber hose for the piping itself, and as well as the factory VR4 intercooler hard pipe. But you can see it uses a bolt hole off the factory Cordia chassis.
You haven't even had to drill anything.
No. So it's that side was very easy to do. I've just probably got to do a few brackets.
So this is a Cordia transmission, is that right?
That's a Cordia transmission, yeah. So Cordia transmission was provided. Flywheel is Cordia, clutch is Galant, and engine was just basically refreshed. I've got one of the drive shafts in. I haven't got that side in. This one's a bit long. We tried to bolt it up, but it's a bit long. So I think that must be a Galant VR4. These are Magna calipers and Magna discs. And yeah, it's just got a VR4 Galant front mount intercooler, which we've mounted using factory holes.
Yep.
And
so you haven't cut anything really.
No, we've tried to hide it too, so you can see it's on an angle. But with this stone guard here, the owner's given me a rusty one to cut up if I need to cut one up. But ultimately, you know, we want to keep the factory look, and that will bolt up, and I'll make something to try and get the air, direct the air into the intercooler. But the intention is just to get it running, registered.
What turbo is going to be on this? Just a 16G or something? Or?
The stock one's going to be a TD05 of some sort. Yeah. So whether it's a 14B or 16G, get it registered and then move on to upgrades down the track. But yeah, very straightforward build. Just, yeah, it won't take long to actually get running once I get some time to commit to it. And
the weather holds out, because as you can see, Luke, this is a serious backyard building going on. If you turn your attention, what happened to the VIP car spot and the tarp? This was under a tarp. This was actually kind of semi-undercover.
Yeah, I'll tell you what happened actually. It was quite funny. We had some crazy weather. The wind was going, you know, at maybe 90 Ks, 100 Ks on that day. There's one end of it. All right, so that's no longer attached. I was working out here during that weather and it actually tore. So I had a feeling it was gonna give way, so I just ripped it down there and then. So VIP spot's gone, but the car's still here. There's the VIP car is still here. Now there has been some progress.
There's been a lot of progress on this. So last time the rear subframe was on the ground and you were going to get it powder coated. I've taken a look. It looks bloody awesome. You've done heaps of work under here. Why don't you start off telling us about what went in first? Actually, what was the hardest part of it? A lot of work. Remember, you're doing this on the ground, all of it.
Yeah. So just a quick summary. Rear diff was done. Trailing arm. I'll get under there if you want a quick update of what's been done. Last time the subframe was not installed. It was getting powder coated, so I've had it all powder coated, hydro blasted or sand blasted with the big pieces, hydro blasted with the small pieces. Rear diff also painted. That's just a factory rear diff.
Even says Barry 4G on it.
Yeah. Last time fuel cell wasn't in, so all the arms, trailing arms from Volk Metalcraft, polyurethane bushes. We've also got a custom sway bar from Drive Industries in New South Wales. Four-wheel steering is still retained in this car. I want to actually get some data on the four-wheel steering. So since you last shot the car, there was no fuel system. There's a custom aluminium fuel tank in there with a built-in surge tank. So you can see that's actually part of the fuel tank. It's a separate fuel surge tank. So it gets filled by the fuel pump over here. So I've got a Holly pump which picks up from the main tank and feeds the surge. And then I've got a Bugatti Veyron fuel pump that picks up off this surge tank.
Bugatti Veyron.
So I've also future-proofed it with an additional bracket here and some lines, but lots of work went into the fuel system. It wasn't straightforward. I'm using all Raceworks fittings, so fuel lines all the way up to the front, along with coilovers and Evo 10 brakes all around.
So Baz, last time you had white, I think, were they Enkai? What were on here?
Yeah, it was Enkai.
These are heaps fatter. Look at the size of these things, hanging out the guards.
Yeah.
And you've actually got all the Evo 10 brakes on the car now.
Yeah, so I was scouring the Facebook marketplace, and there was a guy looking for some wheels. He was looking to swap for some factory wheels, and I had mine. His Evo had these wheels on. They were too wide for his Evo.
Nice rubber.
So
too.
yeah, he was a local, and we met up and basically did a trade. I got these there 18 by 9.5, and the last wheels I had were 18 by I think 8.5, so an inch. He was struggling with the lip. He was killing the tires, and he had some super thin tires. He was running like 225s or on this, like
really
stretched. Like when you look at it, it's just there was no tire. So yeah, it was a good trade overall. But
so you've got the Evo 10 rears as well.
Yeah.
Sorry, what size are these tires?
265.
265s. The brakes, I've got Evo 10 rotors along with calipers, instead of the typical Evo 10 caliper only on these cars. Most people would just re-drill the mounting points and bolt the caliper on and use the factory rotors.
So you were saying you had to put a spacer.
Yeah, I had to because the top hat of the rotor is slightly different. I had to add like a 10mm spacer. So there's a bit of work to make it happen. I also had to fabricate a bracket.
It was more work to get the rears on, was it, than the front setup? How'd that go?
The fronts were easy because they're actually Evo 10 knuckle and hub.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So that on the front it's all Evo 10, whereas the rears I had to.
So how big are these discs on here? They're quite large, aren't they? I think they're even big. Yeah, they're much bigger than Evo 9. Oh yeah, they're big. Look at the size of the brake.
Well, the rears are 330.
Yeah, and look at the size of that. I think these are at least 360 something. They're big. Like I remember there's a big step up. Like an upgrade people do.
360, you need minimum 18-inch wheels.
Oh yeah, different caliper. So a lot of people do with an Evo 9, Luke. They do an Evo 10 upgrade because the brakes are unreal on those cars.
It's Evo 10 hub, the whole knuckle, the calipers, the rotors. I had to. There's a ball joint conversion. There's a part you can actually buy from America where it converts the front control arm ball joint to an Evo 10.
Oh, you've got struts.
George Nomang would say that's a banger.
So you can see the fuel system from the back is carried on to the front. Dash 8 feed from the tank to the surge tank to the fuel pump. It then merges into a Y adapter or 2-into-1, and it goes to a dash 10. Dash 10 all the way to the front into a filter, Raceworks filter, splits into another Y, comes out as 2 dash 8s, and I've fed the rail on both sides, so dual feed rail, just to equalize the pressure along the rail.
Center return.
And center return, yeah. So and that returns back to the Turbo Smart fuel pressure reg and dash 8 all the way back. So that's the fuel system for this car, and I think power-wise it should be adequate. At the moment it's only got 1000cc injectors.
You've made your own swirl pot.
Yeah, so that's my homegrown swirl pot that I've welded myself.
Because you've not only is Baz a wiring guru, you've started welding now.
That's my beginner's weld. So I've just started practicing, and lots of grinding and lots of practice. But you know, I'm happy with that. I'm not too fussed with the finish. It is a race car, so as long as it's functional. So I've also fabricated the catch can brackets. This catch can, oil catch can, is from Next Level, thanks to Maddie. The brackets itself I made here, not the top one, just the bracket down here and the bracket at the back. So that's just made out of
what about the
aluminium.
coil, the way you've mounted the coils?
Yeah, coils too. So I've decided to mount the coils here, away from the conventional firewall.
Yeah.
Purely from a perspective where I want to isolate that electrical noise that comes out of it. It's all high voltage, and I've always had issues with ignition breakup using CDI, so I'm trying to eliminate, or I'm trying to prove a point that I can make it work with some theory to back it up. I think the last time with the Galant I had misfire coming onto boost, and I got rid of the CDI and it fixed it. Technically inferior in terms of power output, didn't misfire.
Yeah.
So I'm sort of leading it towards just my install. So I'm trying to install it and make it work, but that is from the Galant VR4. I've also done that bleed tank. That's pretty much the highest point in the engine bay that I could get to get the coolant, you know, all the airlocks out. That will then feed the overflow. So it will go from the swirl pot out to the bleed tank to the overflow, and obviously all coming out of the head, trying to mitigate hot spots and, you know, any potential, what do you call it, pre-ignition or...
So what do you think your biggest job left on it? You've got to do all the wiring still in the car.
I still got wiring.
Actually, no, we haven't touched on the inside. You've done a lot of work in there, yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's fab. So engine bay wise, fab, turbo, and intake, that type of stuff. Last time you were here, I think all we had were the seats. I just removed the dry ice. I decided to put the Autronic ECU up here and the wideband 02 because they were old components from my Galant VR4, and I didn't want to. They're good units. I didn't want to just buy new everything. So I'm trying to really focus on budget on this thing. I've got the CDI down there, so that's something I had as well. Once again, trying to work on that theory where keeping it away from all the other electronics.
And this is new.
Yeah, CDI being the most dirtiest. Yeah, I've got the hardwire PDM thanks to Broomy for suggesting that, but I ended up with the same PDM that he got. And the keypads. So
these keypads are they're nice quality.
Yeah, they're marine spec, so all waterproof.
You can tell they're waterproof just looking at them.
Have a guess what the icons are for. What's this bad boy gonna do?
Well, that's going to be some kind of overboost. What is it going to be? What do they call it? Scramble boost?
Yeah, close. So the icons are limited. I could only choose certain icons that they supply. The Rabbit is actually going to be an output to the ECU to just give it 3 modes, like you know, low, medium, high type boost setting, or power setting.
Oh, so you can cycle through them, can you?
Yeah. So PDM has 3 cycles.
So you are going to run water injection, are you?
Yeah, Broomy's got my kit that I lent him. so that water injection is going to be.
Hear that, Broomy? That water injection's coming back here. What's your petrol one for?
So the ECU will control the fuel pump, but I also want to have the ability to flush or test my fuel pump.
Oh, you just want to prime it and push.
So if I press it, I could turn on like the feed pump, so the Holly, it'll run for a time duration. Press it again, it'll run the second fuel pump. Press the third one, it'll run the third fuel pump. But it's really just for like troubleshooting more than anything. I don't.
Hey, what's this?
Oh, this is cool. This is his.
It's a steering angle sensor.
Look at that.
So that's a Motec sensor. It just basically uses an analog 0 to 5 volt output. The Motec dash that I have there, that will know how much steering angle I'm giving it on the track, you know, every corner. So I'll have a GPS as well. So full track logging. That's the intention on this thing.
So then when you get home, you'll just have nerd level, just data to analyze. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, exactly.
Your Motec dashing still came up neat as carbon fiber backing plate.
There you go. So could have the laptop sitting there analyzing the data. So still yet to do the gauges. But oh yeah, another update. I got the shifter cables.
Where's the clutch?
I got the shifter cables working and the shifter to work with the 4G. So that's a GTO shifter mechanism, shifter assembly, and at the front there it's all 4G. So
This is coming up really neat, this interior, since we saw it. Also, you've got, what do you got down here?
That's a Motec E888. So I use that for all the
expansion.
The thermal couple inputs, all temperature, EGTs. So that is the factory forward steering stuff. So we've got the Holden Astra power steering pump.
This is a very common, I guess you see a lot of converted cars with just upgrades.
Electric power steering, so it's hydraulic electric. And I'll be attaching it to the front power steering rack and the rear power steering rack. And this is the GTO, the factory forward steering control unit, I guess. So there's pressure that goes in, and it basically uses the front steering rack input left and right, and then it will control the rear left and right at the same time. But the key difference with what I'm doing is by running electric, the factory had to run a pump off the rear diff, so
Yeah.
it was speed controlled,
Yes.
which meant that at certain speeds it turns on and off.
That's right, yeah.
And people complain about they feel sort of uneasy. I'm hoping that with an electric power steering pump, it might take away that twitchiness, and if it works, then
So a lot of people have recommended don't run the forward steering, so you're going to try it.
I'm going to try it. Yeah. I mean, it's worth trying. I'll try it with the power steering pump, electric version, because then the data that I gather from the dash, it will tell me, you know, corner speeds, steering angle, all that stuff, and I might put some sensors on the rear steering rack itself and see what it's doing. But yeah, it's really, in theory.
Have you written them down in that booklet you've got going over there?
In theory, it's actually meant to be faster. You know that? There's actually a paper done on forward steering from Swinburne Uni, and it's technically meant to be quicker. But this is my to-do list. This is my Bible. Everything. You know, I wake up in the morning, look at my list, and then pick something, and then.
Do you wake up at midnight thinking of stuff?
I do actually. I do.
He's on the computer.
But yeah, you know, that's the GTO as it is.
You've made a lot of progress, and you've got to remember, especially under the car here, the whole lot's been done in the VIP position on a set of axle stands. There's no hoist here.
I'll show you this. Come have a look at this. Full boost sticker. See that? That's 100 kilowatts right there. You guys don't have this sticker?
Actually, I've got red ones.
You better go get one if you want to go fast.
Now, this car wasn't here last time. This is, if you don't know what it is, this is an AMG Mitsubishi.
Is this one of... How many Galants have you got?
I think at the moment, I've got seven Galants, but mind you, some have been, you know, allocated to potential buyers. So I'll buy cars for myself. I'll use them for parts. If they're too good to wreck, I'm super reluctant to get them, you know, chop them up. So I have friends that do chase these cars, or people contacting me for these cars, and if I can sell it, if I'm happy to keep it in one piece and I've got enough parts for my builds, then I'd much rather sell them and you know, somewhat restore them. So some of them come, they don't have parts, they're incomplete, so I'll just complete
You have heaps of spares here too, don't you?
And then I'll just get them back on the road. So I'm happy sort of building the community up again. Otherwise you end up with nothing.
So this one wasn't here last time. This is if you've ever heard of it, an AMG Galant. And yes, that's the same AMG like AMG Mercedes.
Yeah, the AMG Galant is an interesting one. So it was Japanese. It was Mitsubishi in Japan's attempt to, I guess, maybe engage the European market.
Yeah, but especially with this car because it's a little bit bigger and it was a higher. Jeez, I got a bit distracted there, Baz. I actually thought your car had 4 sets of windscreen wipers. what is this? I actually looked and went, hey, what that?
So another thing I do is, because I've got so many spares.
Baz is the king of powder coating windscreen wipers. I'm not joking.
So, you know, I hate seeing crappy old windscreen wipers.
And it's very easy to make this look brand new again.
But when people are driving these, if they are driving them, obviously you can't have your wipers off the road. So what I do is I also offer like a exchange service.
Baz's windscreen wiper service.
Yeah, this here, front wheel drive, automatic.
This is a factory manual to begin with, but you've converted this to an automatic years ago.
Yeah, this was my daily driver. So I was driving to Thomastown, you know, from where I am now. It was about an hour drive every day. I was there for about 2 years, 3 years actually, and I couldn't stand it. So automatic it went. It's actually got
it's a Magna gearbox.
Yeah.
I've been in this car. Makes about what, 250 kilowatts the wheels.
Yeah.
2.3 forged engine, wasn't it?
Yeah, 2.3 stroker. Yep. So
and now you've decided to another rebuild or another update.
Quick.
It's a pity we'll put some photos up of what this did look like. As Baz recently ripped a bunch of parts off it, but it actually had a nice engine bay in it.
Yeah, so I've basically stripped the thing down, going for a full rebuild again. Redo everything, do it properly. It's one of those things where you look at it after you've done the work and you sort of think to yourself, what the hell was I thinking, you know?
Many years ago though.
Like that. Yeah, so that's actually got a TR Magna transmission in it. So one of those family cars that everyone used to own. It's got that transmission. It's been rebuilt by myself. My first auto rebuild, it was pretty much a learning thing for me.
Auto.
Yeah. And it held 250 front wheel kilowatts on a 2.3 stroker.
For years, yeah.
Yeah, and it's pretty much stock. All I've done is clutch packs and electronics to it.
These AMGs have quite a distinctive rear spoiler. It's very easy to spot them. I think, were they all this colour, weren't they, Baz?
Yeah, I think they are.
All the
You're right.
ones you tend to see are this charcoal colour, but
You're
maybe
right.
there was... Oh, like, we've got 3 windscreen wipers on the back too. This is doing my head in. I keep looking over going, what's going on with that?
You know why I keep the wipers like that?
So yeah, because they're so easy to look. They're so easy to get mixed up.
Yeah, I don't have labels for them, and I didn't know what they were for. I'm like,
Check this out. What year is this from?
yeah, so
Alpine unit. But these are, so this AMG Galant, these are factory.
no, so I've
I've
got
put these in.
they actually came out with factory seats. These are not the factory seats, but they came out with factory leather seats with the AMG logos on it.
And this is the factory steering wheel, isn't it?
That's the factory steering wheel. Or that's how I got it from Japan.
But I have seen quite a few on the internet with the wood grain, so maybe it is factory.
It could be an option.
Look at these, look at this, 9,000 RPM cluster.
I've actually got the AMG cluster, right? Because that's an auto. Have a look in the middle there. So that there is the gear, the auto gear for the transmission. So it's a manualized auto, basically.
So you could easily, effectively, you could turn that into a paddle shifter.
Yeah, well, that's exactly it. I do have Evo 10 paddle shifts, which I'll be putting onto this thing.
One car Baz had here last time that a few people commented on was this older CB Lancer. This is a factory all-wheel drive, but they come with, I think, a 4G61. Is that right?
Yeah,
1.6 litre. They physically look the same, but this one actually does have a 4G63 in it. You've done a bit of a makeover under the engine bay. Let's have a look.
I mean, you know, I was thinking maybe fullBOOST was going to buy it, so I was going to spend a bit of money on it and make some profit off fullBOOST, but unfortunately, I don't think that's the case. But yes, it's running. It's running. It's alive.
Didn't you pull the wiring out? It was a nightmare. The wiring was a mess in this car.
Yeah.
The loom was all hacked.
The loom was hacked. So
Good, Baz.
Baz has done a lot of powder coating.
my trademark, mate. Powder coating.
That's blowing the budget, Baz.
Yeah. So all
My
I've
favourite
done,
blue hoses.
everything is basically as per what it was. I've just spent, you know, given it TLC. So pipe's got the hydroblasting treatment, powder coated, rocker cover, wiring loom got stripped down, continuity to each connector and just really validated and then redressed. So, you know, it's the same spec. It's got a new fuel tank and new fuel pump. The old one, which I don't have here with me,
That's right. Yeah, I remember seeing the photo. Yeah,
it was rusted.
Oh, it was terrible, wasn't
It was like this brown blob of, you know, metal in the fuel cradle. Yeah, no wonder why it didn't start. I knew the engine was good because I fired it up using Start Your Bastard.
Yeah.
And it ran, so I knew the engine was healthy. Fuel pump was on the cards. It ended up as a whole fuel pump and fuel tank rebuild, as in we had to treat the internals of the fuel tank, get rid of all the rust. The whole tank was rusted, and then seal it. So that was a
I want to prove
fun
that
exercise.
that Baz has actually a running car in this driveway. So I reckon you fire it up, because otherwise,
I've still got to do a bit of work on it. It's alive.
hey, it has more intake noise than my Lancer already.
So yeah, it runs. I've just got to do a catch can. That's why the lines aren't connected, but it's ready to pretty much move on to its new owner.
That's cool. That's you've done it. That's come up really neat. Considering what it was, remember the whole thing was just a mess. I see all that you've done, all the wiring.
Yeah. And for the new owner,
Hang on. So these freshly powder coated from the Baz powder coating windscreen wiper service.
freshly powder coated, so ready to go in the car. The car's going in for a paint job, so that's why I haven't put anything back on. You can't get them anymore. They're special edition. They have,
These are factory Oz racing wheels sold on the little 15s. These are actually sold on Mitsubishi. These wheels.
up and running. It's actually getting towed today, so
So then, what other cars replacing this one?
you don't want to know. Yours, bring yours in.
Actually, mine does need some wiring.
That's a good point, Geordie. Why do we drive here in the almighty Subaru?
Have you seen my house? It's like the castle. Get the keys to the Tirana. My car's buried 4 deep. It's ridiculous. Baz, where are we at in the next stage of this car? You've got a bit of fabrication, I hear, to do. Actually, why don't you just go get that 200 item list?
Good idea. So what's next? 3 gauges, torque some bolts to 53 foot-pounds. I've got rear Evo X brake test fit. I've got rear subframe, torque specs, power steering lines. What else? Vacuum lines, turbo, exhaust, tow hook.
Baz is just going through his 1,000, where his 1,000 sensors are allocated.